Are you thinking about selling your home, but you're worried that the interest rates are maybe just a little bit too high, so you're thinking, well, maybe I should hold off? Let's dive into it. Let's talk about the facts. Right now in the greater Dayton area, homes are still moving at an incredibly rapid pace, and I want to break it down for you and tell you why it is still an excellent time to sell your home if you're thinking about moving in 2025. Hey everyone, I'm David Moyer with Keller Williams Advisors here in Dayton, Ohio, and I am one of Dayton's top producing listing agents. And I want to tell you a little bit about why it's still a great time to list your home in 2025. I help sellers every single day move with confidence and clarity, and I want to do the same for you. So make sure you watch this video to the very end. Also, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get your home sold in 2025. Let's start off with the facts. According to the Dayton Board of Realtors, right now for homes that have sold over the past 30 to 45 days, the average day on market is 41. 41 days. That's the amount of time it takes for a property to go onto the market before a property goes under contract, meaning they have a qualified, ready, and willing buyer, and they are going through the inspection and appraisal process. 41 days is not a lot of time. And remember, that's the average, which means there are properties out there that are going under contract in just 48 hours. But there are also some properties out there that maybe are taking closer to 60, 75, maybe even 90 days before they go under contract. I want to put this in context for you. I've been doing this for over 20 years. In a normal average market, one that we saw prior to 2020, the average day on market then was really closer to 90 because we had a very balanced market, but we're still seeing a tightening and less properties available than there are ready and qualified buyers. So that day on market is down to 41, and 41 is a good number. Too many times people focus on what happened in 2021 and 2022 with extreme circumstances. And I think we know what we're talking about. What was going on in the country during that time? COVID. So the properties then were so low and the number of buyers were so high that were looking to make those moves. The average day on market then was 2, 3, 4, and people got used to that. Now when they see 41, they think, oh, maybe this isn't the right time to sell. But let me tell you, 41 days is still a good time to put your home onto the market. It is still a great day on market. And then here are some facts that I think will really excite you if you're on the fence on whether you want to sell in 2025. The average list price to sale price ratio is on the low end at 97% up to 100%. Did you hear that right? 100%. That means the average seller on this market, if they are listing their property for the correct price, following their realtor's guidance, and preparing their home properly, are getting at almost 100% of their list price. Now, that may also include some seller concessions such as closing costs, some points, things of that nature, but 100% is always a great ratio. Also, we take a look at what's called absorption rate. Absorption rate tells us out of all the properties that are active right now in the multiple listing service, the MLS, how many have sold in the past month. And we take those numbers, we divide the number of active listings right now by the number of sold listings for the past 30 days, and it gives us an absorption rate of 1.7. 1.7 is a really low number. And what does that mean to you? It means right now, if nobody else put their homes onto the market and we only had the active listings that are available now, so no more sellers starting today, it would take approximately 1.7 months to sell every single house that's on the market and have zero inventory. So when you look at 1.7 months, those are really good numbers. Like I said before, in an average market, the inventory would be around 3 months. Our absorption rate would be 3. Right now, we're at 1.7, and I like those odds. So let's continue on with that. Why is it a really good time right now? Here we are at the very end of July, beginning of August, and people are thinking, oh man, have I missed the boat? School's starting here soon. Do I still want to list my home in 2025? And the answer is yes. The inventory remains low. and the buyers still exceed the number of active listings out there. So when you're listing your property right now, you have less competition, first of all, which if you're trying to maximize the dollar on your house, the less competition you have, the better off you are. And those buyers right now that are still out there working this market, working with their realtors, trying to get into a property, those are your serious buyers. The ones that have been kicking the tires around, sitting on the fence forever and a day, a lot of them have backed out of the market and are now sitting on the sidelines, and they were never really serious buyers to begin with. So the buyers that you're working with are that much more serious, and that's a fact. And a little bit of a bonus here. Here's the good thing about being in a tight market if you're a seller. You have a little bit of an upper hand when it comes to getting your home sold. If a buyer needs assistance to get into your home, you can still negotiate some points to help that buyer get into the home, to make your home a little bit more affordable for them. You have a little bit more of an availability to negotiate some occupancy terms. In a normal market, if there's a lot of competition out there and there are several homes that are comparable to yours and a buyer has to get into a property, they may shop around until they find a seller that's going to let them into that home right away. But you may have the opportunity to say, I would love to close on this date, but I need to have a little bit of time for occupancy so I can also make my move. I have helped so many sellers in this market transition from point A to point B with very little change in their interest rates, and they've also gotten occupancy, so they're not doing everything at once, and they're not locked into trying to find a property in a short amount of time. So the possibilities are still very endless. Now, in all fairness, I also want to say maybe it's not the right time for you to sell. And there are a few circumstances. Maybe you are looking at a job relocation or a promotion and not everything is in writing, so maybe making that move right now is not going to be the smartest thing for you. Or maybe there are some serious repairs that you need to make to the property that you and I have gone over that is going to increase the net value of your home at the end of the day. So unless it's an emergency situation, maybe you are better off taking a look at getting those repairs done and listing your home in the early fall. There are a lot of possibilities. And if you've watched any of my previous videos or if you watch my weekly market updates, there are lots and lots of opportunities for buyers and sellers in the fall and in the winter. So just because we're approaching the end of summer, don't stress out and think, have I missed the boat? There are circumstances that may request that you hold off and make the right decision. And you and I can discuss that. I'm not coming into your property to list it the same day if it's not the best decision for you. And lastly, one of the things people think about all the time is, I need to sell my home, but I want to buy a property, but I don't want to get locked into not having a place to go if my property sells. And that's where I come in. We're going to put together a game plan that's going to give you all the different scenarios of what happens if a property comes onto the market before my home goes onto the market. What happens if I go under contract too quickly and I cannot find a home? There are a lot of different options, and a majority of my sellers have worked with myself and my preferred lender, and we have talked about different options to get our sellers from point A to point B so they don't miss out on that perfect property out there while also getting their home ready on the market. You may think, well, David, I don't want 2 mortgages. I don't want to have to make those payments on a monthly basis, and I don't think I can afford it. But I bet you we can put together a game plan where we can show you how it's not only economical, but it also just makes sense and makes your life a lot easier. These people go from point A to point B all the time. Myself and my lender help clients do this on a regular basis, and we can help you too. You've been waiting to sell your property and you've been seeing all your friends and family sell their homes, making their moves. You see all the real estate news and you're thinking, is it the right time to move? The market right here in the greater Dayton area is telling us the time is now. And this is not hyperbole. I don't make these videos just to garnish likes or comments or followers or anything like that. The market is moving, and I want to make sure you take advantage of that. So even if you're thinking, well, I'm not 100% sure if I want to sell, I don't want to waste someone's time just by talking about it, I am all about making a game plan. Our business relationship starts from day one, but the actual listing and selling part doesn't have to start on day one. So if it doesn't fit into your plan, and maybe we're looking at a 90-day plan, maybe we're going to be moving you sometime after Halloween this year, we can still get together, put those items in play, and get the ball rolling. I've taken a lot of photos for some really fantastic homes that are going to be coming onto the market at the end of this summer that wanted to take advantage of the way their landscaping looked and the way their home looked during the summertime, but they're just not ready to make that move, and they're timing the market, and I'm helping them through that, and I want to help you too. So if you're thinking about doing any of this, I am on board to help you, even if it's just the exploratory phase. Go to the link in my bio. I have lots of things in my link tree you can click on. You can request a home analysis. You can ask the realtor any sort of question that you have. You can go in there and you can take a look at, show me what my neighborhood is doing. I love to send out market update reports on a monthly basis to all of my clients. So even if they're not looking to sell now, or maybe this is something they're considering for the spring, I can keep them updated on what the market is doing. And I want to do the same for you. So once again, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share this with your friends. And if you have a specific question about a what if listing your home now versus waiting until the fall, the winter, or even spring of 2026, leave a comment below. I love to hear from my followers. I love to hear from the people that watch these videos and answer all their questions that you have. This is what I do, and I love selling real estate in Dayton, Ohio.